Welcome to South Boston, Virginia, where the NASCAR officials have graciously held the start of this race for about 15 minutes so we could bring it to you live in its entirety following the event at Heartland Park, Topeka, Kansas. Here is the starting lineup as they roll out for the Ford Credit 300. First career pole for Curtis Markham, the rookie. Five-time winner this year, Chad Little on the front row. Johnny Benson Jr., the point leader, and Danny Edwards, second start of the year. He goes off in fourth place. Fifth, the youngster Buckshot Jones in his second start, and sixth is Jimmy Spencer. Seventh, Kevin LePage, and eighth, the champion David Green. Ninth is Doug Hevron, second at Nazareth, and Hermie Sadler, last year's runner-up here. 11th, Jason Keller, fourth in the points. Mike McLaughlin, the winner at Dover. Jeff Fuller, second in the rookie standings, and Johnny Chapman, the former Dash Series champ. Elliott Sadler, Hermie's little brother, makes his Busch Series debut, and Tim Fedewa, seventh in points. Larry Pearson has won 3 Busch races here. Bill Parsons. Johnny Rumley, his second start at South Boston, and Rodney Combs with a new sponsor, ninth in the points. Tommy Houston, a 3-time winner here, and Bobby Dotter, fourth here in 1991. Elton Sawyer has 8 top 10 finishes here, and Randy Porter makes his second start on this track. Jeff Green, third in the standings, and Ward Burton returns to his hometown stomping grounds. Chris Diamond, first start since Nashville, and Tracy Leslie, who had a third at Charlotte. Dennis Setzer, defending champion of this race. He's in a new ride this week. And Mike Dillon makes his third Busch start. The provisionals, Jim Bound, who was 10th here last year, and Patty Moise, a career-high 7th last week at Talladega. That did not qualify is Road Racer Ashton Lewis Jr., Jimmy Mann, Kerry Mix from Canada, and Skip Pannell. He'll be riding along today with Elton Sawyer in the Brad Akins and Bob Sutton Ford Credit Red Carpet Lease Thunderbird. There's a look out the windshield from Elton Sawyer's car. And also we'll be riding with Bobby Dotter, who is in the Dennis Shoemaker Duralube Chevy this week only. Interesting story there. We'll get to it in a bit. Driving the Hyde Tools car that Dotter has been wheeling all season is the Jimmy Hensley of the Busch division, Dennis Setzer. Dennis could have more driver suits at the end of this year. Well, welcome to South Boston. I'm Mike Joy alongside Buddy Baker and Jeff Burton. This is also his home racetrack here. Quick look at the AutoZone race analysis brought to you by the more than 1,000 AutoZone stores across America. 300 laps, 120 miles the distance. Race record set by Dennis Setzer 1 year ago. It's the 30th Busch Series race at South Boston, Virginia, and A.J. Wagner, the Ford Credit marketing manager, is set to wave the green flag. Field holds it down, and we are under green as Curtis Markham and Chad Little lead him off to turn 1 and get a good jump on the field. Benson and Edwards, 28-year-old driver, making his second Busch start. He was 15th at Myrtle Beach, in 4th. Jimmy Spencer down to the track apron. Underneath Buckshot Jones, nothing there. And we still can't decide who's leading this race now. Markham breaks out.
See Chad Little get a little loose coming off turn 2 there. These straightaways are so short, you don't want to cross up and use your tires up too early.
Front 4 have a breakaway. Spencer works hard on Buckshot Jones. There are your 2 leaders. There's that pack just behind the front 4. Spencer has gotten past Jones. He's on a mission. Jimmy Spencer in the Phenolube car. And 1 car in the wall at turn 3 is Phil Parsons.
Well, Phil just got into the wall a little bit. He's back underway now, but I don't know whether the caution's coming out or not. He's back underway. No caution.
Things happen fast and furious here at South Boston. Parsons is going to get lapped as he thumped the wall with the left rear corner of the Luxair air conditioning Chevrolet.
I tell you what, guys, it's a tough way to start this race that early in the race, get a spin, and you can see knocked the tail clip down a little bit on that car. Now he's got a pit.
Randy Pemberton.
Well, Phil Parsons believes he has a flat on the left side, and he does indeed. They're going to go ahead and work on the left side of that car. Unfortunate for Parsons. Looking forward to a good run here today, but he goes a lap down.
He'll lose at least 1 on pit road and already lost 1 on the track to the race leader. Curtis Markham, first time he's led in Busch Grand National Racing. Watch for Phil Parsons. There he goes on the right side of the screen and away.
Mike, he didn't have any help at all there. He just got in there hot. Once you get out of the groove a little bit, there's a lot of debris on the outside of the racetrack there, and around the car went.
They have restarted Phil Parsons. He is at least 3 laps down.
Curtis Markham showing you why he was on the pole. He has about a 6-8 car length lead over second place Chad Little at the moment. Johnny Benson running along in third place. These guys are running for points and everything else. Curtis Markham bracket right.
I tell you what, Curtis has run a lot of racetracks like this. He is really good on a slick racetrack, a small racetrack, and there's no doubt that the Hensleys know what they're doing at these places.
Johnny Benson getting past there. Around the outside, he and Chad Little rather going at it. Second place is the battle just behind your leader, Curtis Markham. Back to single file. But Benson keeps trying the bottom.
Johnny Benson down on the flat part of the racetrack trying to make a move on Chad Little. It's going to be really tough to get under him. You see him fall back in there, cool his tires. Now he turns to the bottom. You can see the car turn sideways up off turn 2.
When they redid this racetrack, what they did is the bottom doesn't have as much banking as the top. The higher up you run, the more banking you have. So when you try to get up underneath somebody, you just don't have that banking to hold you. And you can see Spencer going back some there because there's just not the grip on the bottom.
Here comes Jimmy again, right down to the bottom on Danny Edwards. Slides the car in the middle of the corner and loses his momentum.
Well, if he does that 8 or 10 laps in a row, you can see him making that move again. He's hoping Danny Edwards will maybe make him a little mistake. But as long as he's on that flat part of the racetrack, he's using up his tires a big time right there.
Like Denver, Colorado, Agawam, Massachusetts, and Tucson, Arizona, all very competitive short tracks. They have this progressive banking here at South Boston, Virginia, and it means the upper lane is certainly at the start of the race, the fast lane.
Well, Mike, you can see Johnny Benson now trying that lower line. Now watch him off the corner. He loses all his momentum there as Chad Little pulls a full car length coming out of the corner on him.
I was fortunate enough to stand in turn 2 this afternoon, and I could see that the 74 car all morning long worked on getting set up at the bottom. Maybe his game plan is to try to run the bottom. I would say it's going to be really hard to do that, though.
Hammer time.
You can see Jimmy Spencer had no luck on the bottom. Now he's trying way outside on the 61 car there.
Well, he's going to make it exciting for us, I promise you.
Danny Edwards has tried for 3 Busch races, qualified for 2, missed the field at Hickory, ran at Myrtle Beach, and here at South Boston. They're going to run 5 this season. Here's David Green underneath Buckshot Jones, who started in 5th. And the Slim Jim car, the defending series champ, is going to move up a spot, and Hermie Sadler in the DeWalt Chevy #1, who knows this track really well, is going to come right along with him.
Now what David Green did there, he cut off the angle so Buckshot couldn't accelerate off the corner and took that line away from him.
Here in replay, we see just a little tap by Jimmy Spencer because Danny Edwards was going to come up and run the groove.
Yeah, the 18 car seems to have a problem.
Randy Porter, turn 1, a lot of smoke from that car. He's trying to get into the backstretch pits, and he will. As the leaders go past, you saw that car. Look at the right front torn up.
He's been up in the wall with that car. That's a pretty hard lick. You see the right front's down on that car. He's trying to get across traffic as we speak here.
Can't get to pit road.
He's stuck right there. This place is small, and you just cannot get in pit road if that line keeps coming.
Curtis Markham, meanwhile, has opened up a 2-second lead on the field here. As finally Porter, he gets hit and around. A save by Dennis Setzer. Setzer tried to go under Porter, who was trying to get to pit road. Remember, Setzer's in the 08 car today. And everything shuffles out. So we've already had, 3 wrecks and no caution, folks. That's the way it goes here in South Boston, Virginia. You're watching Busch Grand National Racing live on TNN. We'll be right back.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Ford Credit 300 on TNN is brought to you by Avalon Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. Take it to the stars. By the more than 1,000 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. By Smooth Busch Beer and easy drinking Busch Light. Busch, the official beer of NASCAR. And by Speed Stick by Minute. Like you, it never quits.
Green flag racing so far as Curtis Markham continues to lead. The battle has been right behind him as they try to overlap cars. There is Markham, and you see how big that lead is on Chad Little, Johnny Benson, Danny Edwards Jr., and this man, Jimmy Spencer. Oh, rough and tumble and a spin in turn 2. Mike Dillon goes around. There's his number 12. The Salem National Lease car at the bottom of the apron in 2. No caution. He'll go a lap down. got together side by side and brushed with Dennis Setzer. There you see the damage to Dylan's car. He's had a lot of success here in the late model stocks.
He's going to have to come in. That right rear looks like it might be dragging in the corner. You see there as he starts in the corner, it's smoking pretty hard. So they'll have to come in and take that off that tire.
Tough break for Dylan. Now, just in front of Markham, you see the 08 car. Now, that is Dennis Setzer. Now, here's how that happened. Bobby Daughter and his partners, Ronnie and Lee Smith in MPH Racing, the easiest way to describe this, folks, they're divorcing. They're not talking. So they can't work out of the same truck, and he can't drive that car as long as they own part of it. The deal for Bobby to buy out the team and finalize the divorce will probably be finalized Monday. And Bobby's new team, Midwest Motorsports, he'll drive that 08 with Hyde Tools the rest of the year. Today, Dennis Setzer is in it and almost takes a swipe at Curtis Markham there.
Curtis is cutting under him there, and he just got back on the throttle and turned sideways. He got into Daughter. I mean, I knew I'd do that before the day was over. On Setzer's car there, he's got a V6 in that car, and it's not quite as powerful as Curtis Markham's car is.
Bobby Daughter is here. He's in the race. He's driving the Dennis Shoemaker car, the Duralube machine that has one of our in-car cameras, number 64. Randy?
Well, I just want you guys to know that the rear sway bar is now here in the Busch Series. They tried it. A lot of teams tried it when they went up to Milwaukee in practice. They took it away. They did not run it. Maybe a couple of teams did run it. Curtis Markham's team does have it in. I talked to Jeff Hensley before the race. He swears by it. Says this car needed the rear sway bar, particularly on these short tracks. It doesn't allow the rear to roll over as much. I'm sure Jeff Burton might comment a little bit on the rear sway bar, but I believe, Jeff, over half of the teams running the rear sway bar in this race, and so far, it seems like it's working for Curtis.
Thanks, Randy. We have the first caution of the day, and it comes from Doug Hevron's spin, the Cincinnati Millicron, number 35, spinning right in the middle of the back straightaway. First caution of the day. Let's show you what happened here. What happened to Hevron? Oops.
Well, I'll tell you, it's really hard to tell right there. I know what's happening right now. He's wanting to slow down real quick.
Mike, he might have had a little bit of help up off that corner there. I would say right now that's a little bit of temper inside that car there.
So the former super modified ace from Oswego, New York is back underway, but he will go a lap down apparently after that spin. 24 cars, 25 cars on the lead lap here at South Boston, Virginia. We'll be right back.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Ford Credit 300 on TNN is brought to you by Napa. We keep America running.
Highway transportation provided by Cedar Ridge RV Center, Branchville, New Jersey, featuring Winnebago. Call 1-800-988-4884 and let Joe and the folks tell you why Cedar Ridge is the choice of champions. When we get to Pocono tomorrow to race, buddy, I'll be glad that Cedar Ridge RV is sitting there waiting for us with air conditioning, I'll tell you. Yeah. All right, let's go back to green here. Lap 44. Lap cars to the outside, and Doug Hevron gets back on the lead lap. Curtis Markham and Chad Little in the Harris Teeter number 23 battle for the lead, and Little has the bottom. But can he get the lead?
He's got a good spot there. He's coming off the corner. I believe he might have that preferred line getting in the corner. You see him using all the racetrack up here. You make Markham go to the wide side.
Chad was able to push the 63 car up enough where he didn't have to get down there on the flat. That was a nice move by Chad.
So Little has the lead. You see David Green battling Jimmy Spencer. And number 12 is Mike Dillon a lap down. A little squeeze play there. 46. That's a DeWalt car. Not only the teammate to Hermie Sadler, but his brother, Elliott, making his Busch debut. Battling the lap cars of Jim Bound and Patty Moise, the two provisional starters.
I think Elliott's won 6 times in a row here in his late model car, so he knows this racetrack. He's just trying to get a good position here, track position.
I tell you what, he and Danny Evans are both doing a really good job here today.
Boy, oh boy, we got a booth full here. Mark Martin just walked into the booth. Welcome here, man.
Thanks, buddy. It's good to be here. I wish I was out there racing, but this is pretty nice and air conditioned here.
I'm going to tell you what, I'm looking around, there's more race car drivers. Race car drivers go to the race if there's one close enough to get to it.
Well, you know how it is. It's all I've ever done. We raced the IROC race up in Michigan today and stopped back through on our way back to Daytona here.
You 22nd overall. That's really neat.
Yeah, it was a good run. It was a disappointment. We missed a chance to win the series. All I had to do is pick up a couple more spots, but I just had a car that wasn't handling good, and I couldn't do better. Dale was in a wreck on the first lap, and all I had to do was just pick up a couple more spots. We were running 6th in the running, and that's the best I could muster. And he beat me by 3 points. So it's just one of those days.
Well, we're real glad to have you up here. We're going to get back to the racing action now.
Mark Martin will pick up $100,000 for second in the IROC series. So that's a little consolation money. Pretty good deal.
We don't feel so sorry for him anymore.
Not quite. Curtis Markham now in second place, battling with Johnny Benson. That's the battle. A little further back, Danny Edwards. Then it'll be Jimmy Spencer, David Green, Hermie Sadler, Buckshot Jones, Kevin LePage. Then Mike McLaughlin, Elliott Sadler, Jason Keller, Larry Pearson, Jeff Fuller, Tim Fedua, and Dennis Setzer. That's the way they're running here at South Boston.
You know, just before we went away, Curtis Markham had pulled 8, 10, 12 car length lead. Now he's running second. He seems to be losing the handle a little bit. You see Chad Little fighting Doug Hevron right there trying to get by him. But as they go in, Johnny Benson passes him on the outside. They couldn't do that a while ago.
Well, I'm going to tell you, that rear sway bar is a really neat deal, but it's really hard to put it on your race car and just race it without having a lot of testing time with it. And they've done a great job qualifying with it and running with it, but it's really hard just to come out with that thing because it really changes your race car.
Makes a huge difference. Randy?
For the record, Chad Little is not using the rear sway bar. He also is complaining right now the car is a little tight, but also for the record, boy, the temperature has dropped significantly since the start of this race, just a mere 15 minutes or so ago. A heavy cloud cover coming over. Don't know if that can change the chassis setup a little bit, but it might be working on some of these cars.
There is a huge thunderhead just coming out over turn number 1 that is getting by Doug Hevron. Chad Little has to use a little bit of muscle, and Johnny Benson is there.
Well, you see Hevron there. He's fighting for every inch of ground he can get right now. You see Chad Little trying to take that spot away. He needs to get turned here.
And everybody gets by, but damage to the back of Chad Little's car, and we're under caution.
Well, I tell you, that's just good hard racing right there. The 35 car is trying really hard to stay in the lead lap, and they just got together a little bit.
Let's show you what happened here.
Well, you can see there the 23 car is clearly under him. It's really not banging, but this is when the trouble starts. You just can't do that on these short tracks.
And look at Benson all the way to the bottom, taking the lead.
I tell you, the 23 car could have some damage on that right rear. It didn't look that hard, but yeah, it is a tire down on the right rear, and he's got his rear bumper tore off.
Randy's right there.
Well, it is difficult to know if the rear end is askew. Everybody up and down pit road looking underneath, certainly a flat right rear to say the least. It does look a little askew from my perspective, but it's hard to say. They're having trouble getting the jack under the car. They certainly want to get these tires on so he doesn't go a lap down on pit road. I mean, they're having big time trouble. They've got 8 guys trying to pick this car up. They finally get it up. Tires going on. Chad certainly not happy sitting in this car.
They get it up with the Armstrong method, and the pace car here runs 25 miles an hour, and Chad Little will get out and rejoin the field.
Great work by his crew to get him back out, Mike.
Yes, they did. We'll take this pause as we're under caution for the second time today. Storm clouds rolling in.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Ford Credit 300 on TNN is brought to you by Pep Boys Automotive Super Center.
For information on Featherlight Trailers, the official trailer of NASCAR, call 1-800-800-1230. Jimmy Spencer getting set for the restart. Let's have another look here at what happened. Very reminiscent of the incident at Hickory where Chad was leading, tangled with a lap car, and Johnny Benson took the lead.
Well, Mike, as they start into turn 3, you see Benson coming down. Chad Little runs out there. He just makes contact on Hevron, and Hevron keeps turning left and gets into the right rear of Chad Little's car, ripping that rear panel loose, also doing a lot of damage to the rear quarter panel.
I hate to keep saying this, but the whole incident was because Chad did not want to get on the bottom. He wanted to stay in the middle of the racetrack rather than getting all the way on the bottom. And it's really hard to know where that driver's going to go if he's not going to the bottom. So Hevron went in there just like he was going to do. And the instead of blaming somebody else now. I like it when I reckon they blame somebody else.
Typical driver.
The 23 didn't go down as low as he thought he would.
Right, that's Jeff Burton, who's joined us here, native of South Boston, Virginia, along with Buddy Baker.
You have some good information on the Super Truck race that everybody was watching just a second ago.
Yeah, a couple things. First off, Kerry Teague, who caused the red flag condition and had to be cut out of his car and transported to a hospital in Topeka, is awake and stable. That is the update we have from Topeka. That is good news. Also, last week in the Busch race, we want to update you on Robbie Reiser. When we left the air, we told you that everyone involved in that last incident was okay. And at that time, Reiser was conscious, talking to the crew, and everything, to the best of our knowledge, was fine. He later lost consciousness, was taken to a local hospital, sustained a concussion and a knee injury. They performed surgery on Robbie's knee Wednesday. He was released and sent home on crutches Thursday. He was in the race shop Friday. He's home watching today. So, Robbie, I wish you a quick recovery and hope to see you back on the circuit soon. So that is the update, and we'll go racing when we come back here to South Boston, Virginia. It's been a wild one so far, folks, so stay with us here on TNN. We're back under green here at South Boston, Virginia. Johnny Benson and Curtis Markham have taken off from the pack just a little bit here. Mike Dillon, a lap car, separates them from the third place car, which is now David Green. Watch what happens. See the 61, see the damage on Danny Edwards' side? Guess where that came from? We'll show you. This is about 3 laps after the restart.
You see Jimmy Spencer in the 20 down low there. They make a little contact there. Now they're going to make a lot of contact. That shoots Edwards up towards the outside wall. He had to lock it up. Too bad. He had a great run going.
He really was running well. Let me tell you, it's hard to go Busch racing and run up front, and he was running up front. And that right there is a tough break for him. Yeah, they're going to black flag him now, and he's going to come in and fix it.
From that angle, it showed that Spencer had to climb the hill to get to him. Look at the left front of his car. For flapping body work, that's why they want to bring Edwards in. He had qualified in 4th. This is only his 2nd Busch start and was running in the top 5.
Mike, just a few minutes ago, we were talking about Johnny Benson being very patient. Now he's out in front. Track position means so much on a racetrack like this. Curtis Markham looked like he was out of the ballpark a while ago. Now he's running for the lead again.
I tell you, Hubert and Jeff Hensley, they're not very, they won't show you all their cards all the time. They might be telling him to slow down. You don't ever know what's going on in that 63 pit.
This is for the lead at 77 laps. Now Chad Little is way back in the pack after the pit stop to replace right side tires. The tire rule today, they're allowed 4 tires they can change, but when Little came in, the right rear was down on the rim. It was flat, so likely they only got charged with 1 tire, so they have some to go. Now for the lead, Curtis Markham right back after it.
Boy, Curtis is showing a lot of experience here on this racetrack. You can see him driving back down on the bottom part, trying to get under Benson, but Benson's got the preferred line right at the moment. He's going to have to make a mistake for Curtis to get by him.
That's what short track racing's all about right there, isn't it?
Hermie Sadler's moved up to 5th. Buckshot Jones to 6th. Great battle for 7th. Here is Spencer. You see the right side of his car damaged. Here's that 2nd. There's Sadler. He's in 5th in the number 1 car. And there's Ward Burton in 95, Elton Sawyer 38 as they battle with Rodney Combs, new sponsor for Rodney. Snapper Lawn Equipment will be on that 43 car for the whole rest of the season. There's Jason Keller, Jeff Fuller battling, and Chad Little moving in.
Chad Little was at the back of all these cars. You can see he's coming through the field like butter through hot knife. Yeah, easy
Butter
enough for me to say.
What'd you have for lunch? Let's check with Randy.
I just wanted an update on Jimmy Spencer. Their NASCAR is they are black flagging Spencer as we speak. They want him to remove the sheet metal, dragging on the right side. So, boy, can't wait for him to get back out after this.
Guess not. There's the lead battle again. They are nose to tail. Great battle for 7th spot. Mike McLaughlin has swapped mustard there with Tracy Leslie in the Detroit gasket car. They have been together and not done any damage. McLaughlin on the flat. Did he make the pass? Eek. Nope.
Not yet.
Not quite.
Now, Leslie lost a lap in the pits, we're told. So this is not for position. It is 8th place is McLaughlin, just behind Elliott Sadler there, who, when these two were racing side by side, went past. But good hard battle there. On the point, Johnny Benson and Curtis Markham run 1-2, and David Green has closed right up on them. Right here, you're watching the 6th and 5th place battle. There's 5th place, number 1, Hermie Sadler in 5th. 6th is Buckshot Jones. 7th is Elliott Sadler, and 8th is Mike McLaughlin. A look at the leaders as we complete 87 laps of 300 here at South Boston, Virginia. We'll be right back.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Ford Credit 300 on TNN is brought to you by the more than 1,000 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts.
Chad Little is climbing through the field. Once again, he gets underneath Mike McLaughlin in the Team 34 entry.
The amazing part, that's the 7th spot as they come down the back straightaway there, down into the corner.
And just ahead, Buckshot Jones and Elliott Sadler. Look at this pack coming down the back straightaway.
Chad's sitting in pretty good spot right now. I know he had a problem earlier, but if they're not going to charge him for 2 tires and he can get 4 more, I tell you what, I'd like to be in that position right now.
Boy.
If I was in front of those 2 cars. That's starting to get exciting, isn't it?
So the Sadler brothers right now are running 4th and 5th. And Elliott in his first Busch start. Chad Little's going to try to change that right here.
Mike has fresh tires on any race car. Boy, when you get them, you look like Superman. Right now, he's on fresher tires. You see him running the bottom of the racetrack, actually passing fast cars.
That is a driver's best friend right there. New tires are what a driver loves.
New right side tires for Chad Little. And now Elliott going after Hermie.
Chad after Elliott. 3 wide as they come up out of turn 2 there.
The Sadler brothers is not a TNN program, folks. That's those other guys.
The Sadler's mother right now is saying, "Oh, don't wreck, because that would cause problems at Christmas dinner."
That would be expensive.
Yes, it would.
You can see how much forward bite he has on Chad Little's car there, up out of the corner. He pulls him 2-3 car lengths. Here comes Spencer.
He's trying to get. Oh, I don't know what he's trying to get, but he is trying to get one of his 2 laps back. When he was black flagged for that sheet metal, he went 2 laps down. So now Jimmy is 1 lap down plus distance.
Mike, he really don't run very well till he gets 2 or 3 laps down. Then he really turns it on. At Myrtle Beach 2 years ago, he lost 3 laps, went back out, made them all up under the green, and ended up winning the race. So don't count Spencer out no matter how many laps he's down.
All right, which Sadler brother do you pull for, Mom?
Elliott's in the lead. Here
And
comes McLaughlin on the bottom there.
So Hermie drops back behind younger brother as Mike McLaughlin goes to work on the bottom. The French's mustard car.
Elliott has a whole lot of experience here at South Boston.
Yes.
He's won a lot of races. He's leading the late model stock and track championship points right now. He's had a really good year here, and he's just improving on it.
Now, these 2 drivers tried to knock each other out of the park about 5 laps ago. Jeff Green in number 3, the Goodwrench car, and Elton Sawyer in the Ford Credit Ford, number 38. They are running kind of like in contact here.
Well, that's kind of like walking behind somebody in the hall. If they stop, you kind of bump into them. It's not that these guys have anything against each other. It's just hard racing on a short track.
Well, we did rough each other up pretty good in the back straightaway a couple of laps ago after a little bump down in 1 and 2. Now, let's see what happens in traffic. 64, that's Bobby Dotter today. As we explained earlier, he is buying out the assets of the race team that he has co-owned with Ronnie and Lee Smith, but today won't work with them. He's in the 64. Now, Jeff Green nestles right up to the rear bumper of Elton Sawyer, and that's Tim Fedewa in the Duragloss, number 55. Now you're watching from out the back of, I believe that's Sawyer's car. Yes, at Jeff Green. Good thing we don't have bumper cam on Elton's car today.
And it would probably be laying on the racetrack right there.
You bet.
Yeah, but there's exactly what I was talking about. They've raced for, what, 8-10 laps now, bumper to bumper like that. Nobody's put any sheet metal out there on the racetrack. They're just trying to get around this place fast as they can and not cause any problem.
3 wide. Look, there's no room for that.
It might not work, guys.
I don't believe they got away with that. And Elton goes to the head of the class on that battle.
That was a nice move by Elton. That took a lot of guts to do it, but he pulled it off. And I tell you what, that was a big move, too, because he picked up 2 spots, and he got a little space between him and Jeff.
All right, now you're riding along with Bobby Dotter. That's Jeff Green right alongside. Green makes the pass. Good hard knuckle racing here. That's the racing for 13th place. That's pretty good. All right, we've got 110 of 300 laps complete here at South Boston, Virginia, in the Ford Credit 300. Still up front, Johnny Benson.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Ford Credit 300 on TNN is brought to you by Napa. We keep America running.
Tough day on pit road as the caution is out for a spin by Tim Fedowa up in turn number 4. First, there's Jeff Green going way up the track in turn 1.
Well, Jeff, you can see he got way out there. I mean, in that loose stuff. That's marbles, that's dirt, that's everything that makes you get in the wall. He was very lucky not to hit. Now,
Yeah,
watch
he really was
Fedowa
lucky.
come into this corner. Jeff Green is directly behind him. I don't know whether there was any contact between them or not, but around he goes.
It looked to me like Fedowa got a little bit loose, and then Jeff got into him. Just a little momentum caused him. This
Now,
is the scary part.
in the pits, Johnny Benson was the leader. He was the first car into the pits. Upends the catch can man on Rodney Combs' car, who was not hurt. But Benson was blocked in his pit stall by Combs in front, and I believe Jason Keller's car behind. There just is not a lot of room on this pit lane, and so Benson comes out of the pits way back. Elton Sawyer missed his pit coming in and has to come in and stop now at lap 118. We're under caution. We'll be right back. Man, this is fun to watch. We're back under green. Chad Little did not make a pit stop. He is the race leader. The cars on fresh tires are trying to fight their way to the front, and what a melee in the middle of the pack here.
What Chad has to do right now is just sit there, taking care of his tires, and really not abuse them right now. He's not fighting other cars to get to the lead, so he ought to be able to protect his tires pretty well.
Now look at this pack. David Green moves up. Elliott Sadler underneath Tracy Leslie. Johnny Benson, who got caught, blocked in his pit, and fell from the lead back to about 10th spot. Now running 8th. And everybody on fresh tires. Everybody's really brave on new tires.
I tell you what, it makes you do some crazy things sometimes. It's 3-wide racing. You just don't see that on a 0.4 of a mile racetrack, but we've seen it at least 10 times in the last 3 minutes here.
Tracy Leslie caught up high there by Sadler, Elliott Sadler, and Johnny Benson, and Jeff Fuller poking his nose down on the bottom. And here comes Elton Sawyer on fresh tires as well with Kevin LePage. Here's your Napa Field standing update. Napa, we keep America running. Here's how they're running. 128 laps complete. We watch the battle for 7th place here. Benson takes Fuller with him. Remember, Tracy Leslie is 1 lap down. It's number 72, the Detroit Gasket Chevy. And there's Jason Keller and Jeff Green moving back up as you ride with Elton Sawyer behind the rookie, the former national modified champ Jeff Fuller. Had a great run going in Talladega last week until he got up against the side of Rick Wilson. Brought out the last caution of the race. 3 wide, and underneath there's Elton Sawyer. Underneath Jeff Fuller and underneath Tracy Leslie.
Boy, that camera makes it look like a super speedway straightaway. That thing you can get it up in no time flat. You just count 1, 2, 3, and they're back in the corner again.
You know, here they never get the car turned straight. They always have the wheel turned just a little bit. It's really not a straightaway. It's just a continuous turn around this whole racetrack.
And you notice Elton's down there on the flat where nobody else is running.
Yeah, and I'm afraid that's going to hurt him here in a little while. It looks good now on new tires, but you're really being abusive on those tires right now, and you've got about 170 laps, 160 laps to go. He's got a long way to go on that set of tires.
Running for 8th place now against Elliott Sadler.
Well, you see Elliott getting a little bit better bite up off the corner. He pulls the car length, but there they go down in the corner. They get pretty even again. As you said, though, Jeff, he's really abusing those tires. That'll come to play in about 15 to 20 laps from now.
Sometimes in racing, you don't want to race. I know that sounds stupid, but sometimes you're better off just tucking in behind somebody and riding. It's hard to look at the big picture sometimes. It's really a tough ball game racing because you want to run hard every lap, but that's not always the best thing to do.
Up for the lead, Curtis Markham in the Lysol Pontiac of Hubert and Jeff Hensley. out in front of Chad Little.
We thought he was fading away earlier.
Here comes Chad Little back to take the lead back. He didn't know he was there, I don't think. All of a sudden, somebody rung his bell and said, hey, we just had somebody pass for the lead.
What's wrong with Curtis Markham's car, Randy?
I believe the motor is gone, guys. He just came on the radio and said something is big time wrong. Yep, he's spitting out the back. No question about it. He's in trouble.
Mike McLaughlin comes right up to him and underneath him. And McLaughlin will put the Team 34 car into second place. Here comes David Green.
Just talking about David Green. You want to see a car work around this racetrack right at the moment. It's probably the fastest car out there.
You can really see the 63 cars off the pace. I guess he's got a motor problem or something. He's running for the lead. Now he's going to be lucky just to finish in front.
What a shame. Behind him come Johnny Benson, Elton Sawyer, the Sadler brothers, and Tommy Houston, the Red Devil paint sport, having a great run here.
This is a battle for second place here. Mike McLaughlin comes off turn 2, and that's David Green just behind him in the 44 car there. These two guys are really good on the slick racetrack.
Yeah, I talked to McLaughlin this morning. He likes this place. It suits his driving style. Frank Cece, the car owner, told me this morning, he says, you know, he said, we have to race here on the qualifying setup. We're not allowed to make changes between qualifying and the race. We may just come in on the pit stop and pull off a plug wire.
You know what, that sounds crazy, but old buddy here, he's probably done that a lot. I know that when you run those 3,700-pound race cars he used to drive, you'd have to unplug his spark plug.
Look at Mike McLaughlin. Come on Chad Little there. I mean, he pulled 4 or 5 car lengths. Now he's going to the outside trying to take a lead away from him.
And give his crew chief, Clyde McLeod, a good bit of credit. You saw how Benson got blocked in the front straightaway pits, and so did Larry Pearson. Pearson lost a lap making his pit stop for getting blocked in. Clyde, when they set up today, he said, we're going to pit on the backstretch so we can be way away from all the congestion on pit road. And look where it's put Mike McLaughlin, right up there in second place and challenging. Randy?
Well, that Larry Pearson deal, they took a rubber out of the right front, and it blocked him in on pit road. He lost the lap. Now he was running out in front of the race leader as the lead gets tussled again up here. He was running out front suddenly. It appeared the ignition went on Pearson's car, so he slid back. Now he's a lap down again.
Tough break for Larry Pearson. Here goes McLaughlin for the lead and David Green.
Look at David Green. That car is really working well up off the corner. Watch him pull up on McLaughlin down the front straightaway here. Boy, oh boy, this is best of short track racing right here. This is what it's all about.
This is what it's all about. I tell you, that 23 car, like I said earlier, I was standing outside turn 2 in qualifying. That car has got a really good motor in it. He was about 2 car lengths past everybody else when he got in the gas, which meant he wasn't in the gas as quick as other people, but he still qualified up front. Brett Bodine and I watched it, and we said, it's a terrible lap. And the next thing they announced was, and that's the pole. So that shows you what we know, I guess.
You see McLaughlin losing a little bit of ground there to the first and second place car now. He's back in third place. That bottom is no place to stay too long. It really eats on the tires.
The Sadler brothers back behind this group side by side once again, and that puts all the fans here in South Boston on their feet. As for the lead, David Green now wants a piece of Chad Little.
Look who's coming up. That's Pearson trying to get one of his laps back here, the third place car. He's really running well right now. He's got a lot of ground to make up though.
92 Larry Pearson. He is a lap down.
What's impressive about the 23 car, he's able to hold these cars off, and he did not get tires when everybody pitted. And I'm telling you, that car is really handling well.
Right.
It's running up the straightaway, but it's handling well. You would think they could really blow by him.
He is still on the left side tires with which he started the race.
And he is sitting in good shape right now because there's about 150 laps to go in this race, and he's going to come in and get 4 tires.
Oh, boy.
Everybody else has pretty much burned up their tires.
So Chad Little leads here as Larry Pearson will get his lap back. 150 laps to go. We are halfway in the Ford Credit 300.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Ford Credit 300 on TNN is brought to you by Stanley. Since 1843, Stanley's been helping people do things right.
Welcome back to South Boston, Virginia. Mike Joy with Buddy Baker and Jeff Burton, who won the Busch race here in 1991 in May, leading the final 133 laps and edging Joe Nemechek by 3 seconds at the finish. Lead change here. Let's show you what happened. There is Larry Pearson, who's gotten his lap back. Here comes David Green.
He just pulled inside of him, and that right there is New tires versus old tires, I believe. The 23 car just could not put up a fight.
Those other cars made pit stops under this most recent caution. Chad Little stayed out to pick up the lead. His right side tires have 60 or 70 laps on them, and his left sides have the entire race.
Well, Mike, what they got to try to do is, while they're on fresh tires, they better put a lot of real estate in between them and Chad Little, because when he gets fresh tires, it's going to be Katie bar the door if he's anywhere close.
And let's update the NASCAR decision. When Chad Little cut down that right rear and came in, they were not charged with a tire change, so he has 4 to get when he makes his next pit stop.
He's got the ace up his sleeve, doesn't he? That's
Now,
the key to it.
it's also mentioned Jimmy Spencer is back on the lead lap and has fought his way up to 14th place. So the way they're running, David Green the leader, Johnny Benson in second. There's a look at Spencer right behind Kevin LePage, or rather Mike McLaughlin in second. Johnny Benson is third. Elton Sawyer, Chad Little, Elliott Sadler, Buckshot Jones. Also on the lead lap, Jason Keller, Dennis Setzer, Jeff Green, Ward Burton, who is running in 12th, Jeff Fuller, Kevin LePage, Jimmy Spencer. Hermie Sadler has slipped back to 15th now. Tommy Houston and Larry Pearson. Those cars are on the lead lap. 1 lap down, Rodney Combs and Tim Fedewa. 3 laps down would be the 72 of Tracy Leslie, and 4 laps back, the 4th qualifier, Danny Edwards Jr. Now it's time for the Pep Boys driver profile. Pep Boys for quality parts, tires, and service. Here's Randy.
Curtis Markham has fallen out of the event. Curtis, you're out. We know you broke your motor, but you still have your helmet in your hand. Where are you going?
Well, at first I'd like to thank the Hensley Racing Team, this Lysol product car. It was really running good. Unfortunately, something happened to the motor. Hermie Sadler isn't feeling good. He hadn't felt good for a couple of days, so they just called me to see if I'd help him out a little bit. So we're going to go do that.
Okay, good luck. Well, there's your answer to the Hermie Sadler story, Mike.
Thanks, and a great pole-winning run for Curtis Markham. What a thrill that was for he and the Hensley team. He said Jeff Hensley told him, he says, go out and run a 95, a 15.95 second lap. That's exactly what he ran, and it was good enough for the pole.
I tell you, he mentioned that Hermie's sick. You can really see it, too. That car, of course, is not on the screen, but that car, we've been watching him up here. He's really been falling back. We thought he had a car problem. But I tell you what, these little racetracks, they're really physically demanding, and these 9-to-1 compression engines create a lot of heat. And if you're not feeling well, that's a long time to be in that race car. That's no disgrace to Hermie whatsoever.
No.
If you're sick and that thing is hot and it's hot outside like it is today, it is hard to get it done.
It's a Talladega kind of day. Temperature in the 90s. The humidity is right up there as well. David Green has come to the lead. Boy, the defending champion is ready to get his season turned around. Randy talked to him about that earlier.
You know, it's got to get better. But deep down, you know, I'm proud of the team. I'm proud of the sponsor. I'm kind of even proud of myself at times, you know, to be able to put on a big smile. And I know this is all part of it. I look back at that 1 year Dale Earnhardt had, you know. He didn't forget how to drive that 1 year, but just things happened, and that's racing.
His last top 10 finish was at Nazareth in May. And look at them coming. They're coming after David Green. McLaughlin on the bottom for the lead.
Well, Mike's down on the bottom part of the racetrack. His car is most consistent on the bottom part of the racetrack. You see him, he's as fast as David Green is coming up out of the corner there.
Mike McLaughlin first came to prominence driving dirt track modifieds in upstate New York for Norm Foster. So he can slide that thing and make it go.
Well, he's doing a great job right now. Just behind them, Elliott Sadler is running in 5th place. I mean, that is really something. To come over into the Busch Grand National and run that well, that is a great job by him. I just wanted to give him a call.
He's won a lot of late model stock car races here.
That's a really good point. I ran my first Busch race here, and we qualified 5th, 6th, 7th, something like that, and we were a lap down about 40 laps. And I was thinking to myself, my God, what have I gotten myself into? So he is doing a super job.
Jeff Green battling side by side with Jason Keller, the Budget Gourmet Chevrolet, against the Goodwrench car and the 64, which is Bobby Dotter today. Let's ride with Dotter a bit. Black flag out on Mike Dillon. They have left a jacking bolt ratchet in the car, sticking out of the roof. So Dillon comes in for the lead once again. In case folks joined us late, explain again about the banking on this track and why David Green gets a better run off the top of the track than McLaughlin gets off the bottom.
Well, it's really simple. What they did when they redesigned the racetrack, they wanted to see side-by-side racing. This racetrack was just nose to tail, hit each other, and pass. That's how you had to do it. So all the fans said, hey, we want to see side-by-side racing. So they banked the racetrack. The closer to the wall you get, the more bank there is. It's a really neat design because it allows 2 or 3 groups to be going on in the race all at one time. So what you see is the 44 up top, and he just keeps that momentum going. And the 34, the lower he goes, the less banking he has, and it just doesn't hold his cars well.
Makes for great racing. Here's the Stanley Tools Mid-Race Report, brought to you by Stanley. Since 1843, Stanley's been helping people do things right. 4 different leaders, 4 lead changes, average speed 73 miles an hour, 3 cautions for 17 laps, and the attrition getting up there.
Mike, Tracy Leslie got in the wall pretty hard with the right front corner just a second ago, getting into turn 3. Put some tire marks on the wall itself. I'm sure he'll be coming in the pits in just a second.
Leslie is on his way to pit road. We're at lap 182, and David Green is up front. Mike McLaughlin waiting in the wings. Johnny Benson in third. We'll be right back.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Ford Credit 300 on TNN is brought to you by Speed Stick by Minute. Like you, it never quits.
David Green up front. Tracy Leslie did stop for right side tires. Tommy Houston just made a pit stop under Green. That was routine, and they had trouble on the right rear of the car, so Houston will go a couple laps down. There's Chad Little. And a look through the field here.
Chad Little's almost a half a lap down to the leaders right now. And like you said a while ago, Jeff, they better get him a lap down, because when he puts on fresh tires, nobody else has them, it's going to be goodbye.
David's in a really tough spot right now. He wants just to ride because he knows if he can ride, he can stay up front and lead the race and put himself in position. But he also knows, and I guarantee you they've told him, that Little's out there and he's got 4 tires coming.
Yep.
They need to, I guess what they need to do is get somebody mad at Little and try to take care of him for him because he's going to be hard to handle.
Rookie Jeff Fuller in the Sunoco Chevrolet, number 47, has hung on to the lead lap, and now David Green's going to put him a lap down. And Fuller formerly battled Mike McLaughlin in the modifieds. Mike will go by.
See how high the lead cars are running right now, Mike?
Yes.
David Green and McLaughlin both have moved way up on the racetrack, using all the banking they can use to take care of their tires.
Now, we've talked about Chad Little and the fact that he did not come in for 4 tires when everyone else did. Randy, what's the plan?
The plan is to pray and pray hard. These guys want to caution desperately down here. It's 194 laps. What you want is to get as many guys a lap down without you getting a lap down, so when you get your 4, you don't have so much traffic to battle. But believe me, these guys want those 4 fresh tires, and they absolutely don't want to do it under Green, because if they do it under Green, they'll probably be a lap down when they do.
Yeah, a 4-tire stop under Green here would cost you 2 to 3 laps.
It'd really be tough. Even if you just took 2 tires, you're still going to get laps down.
Yep. Bit of smoke from Phil Parsons' car, number 99, as we go back up front with your race leader David Green, and his brother Jeff almost spun it again in turn 2, getting way up high near the wall.
He's eventually going to run out of real estate. If he keeps testing that upper lane there, he'll eventually get into that outside wall.
Tracy Leslie back in the pits, and Hermie Sadler is in. We'll see if they make the change on Sadler's car. Nope, they are not putting Curtis Markham in the car.
They're giving him a cold rag, telling him to tough it up.
Yep. Phil Parsons has come in, and they're looking at the left rear to see if there's a tire rub on Parsons' car.
See, Mike McLaughlin right there, he is doing exactly the same as David Green does. If David Green runs high, he runs high. If David Green goes low, he runs low. What he's trying to do is keep his tires exactly on the same keel as the leaders.
Buddy, there's smoke from the right rear of Johnny Benson's car. The point leader may have gotten into somebody. Here's Benson. Now watch when he goes into 1. Last time by, yeah, there it is.
I don't think that's tire smoke. I don't see a tire rubbing. I think they've got something mechanical wrong. I may be wrong.
No, I just saw big chunks of rubber coming off the right side, but that may have been just rubber debris. Now see, there's that smoke. Can't tell if it's engine or tire smoke from here. But boy, when he goes into turn 1, there's lots of it.
it's coming out from the center of the car, and that tends to tell you that it's probably something other than a tire.
Well, right now, it's not posing a problem for the cars behind him. There's not enough smoke to really cause a problem. But if it gets any worse, NASCAR will start looking at that.
Randy, what is it?
Well, I'll tell you what, you know, when you come to a lot of these races, there's always a story that you can smell that rear end grease. Now, the 99 car just went by me. He was black flagged. It was a rear end on his. They have just black flagged, if I'm not mistaken, the 74 car. And I do believe it's the rear end. They're not happy about it.
You're correct. It is a black flag on Benson. The Lipton T Chevrolet that leads the Busch Series points. Elton Sawyer goes by him on the low side.
Mike, he still hadn't seen the black flag. He has 4 laps to respond to that flag, and then they quit scoring him, so he'll have to come in pretty quick.
I've got his crew chief, Birdie, right in front of me, and Birdie is not a happy camper right now. He wants to stay on that racetrack.
Wants to stay on that lead lap and hold on to the point lead, 51 points ahead of Chad Little. Now, the next flag Benson will see will be black with a white cross. That means you're not being scored anymore, so this time they will pull him in. Tough break for the point leader, Johnny Benson. 94 laps to go, and here's Benson on pit road.
The biggest problem with this is how do you fix it? What do you do to make it quit smoking? I don't know if it is a rear end, what you could possibly do to make it quit smoking.
Going to the right side.
They're changing tires right now as though it's...
Oh, we got
Trouble.
a wreck in turn 1.
And it is Spencer and Jason Keller. Hard into the wall in turn 1. Look at the damage. Keller has backed away. I don't know if he can drive away.
Both sides of Spencer's car are torn up quite a bit.
They were battling for 10th place.
That's heavy impact on Spencer's car. You can see that thing is tore up. This is a small racetrack, but I'm telling you guys, you can run. You can hit really hard here. I've done it before.
Jimmy is okay. Let's show you what happened from inside Setzer's car, or rather Dotter's car. Wham!
Jimmy was just an innocent bystander in this one. He had nowhere to go.
That was Buckshot Jones that Jason Keller got into. And Keller will come around and try to make repairs, but Spencer's car, through no fault of his own, is head on into the wall in turn 1. We'll be right back.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Ford Credit 300 on TNN is brought to you by the more than 1,000 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts.
Welcome back. There is a look at the Fina Lance Snacks Ford. There's a look at what's left of that car. The front end is still hard against the wall. Now, Johnny Benson has been back in, and they've been under the hood there, Randy.
I haven't gotten a clear indication as to what it was right now. Steve Byrd is talking with his crew. They took a look under the hood. They're shaking their heads no, so they do not believe they have a problem. I believe Benson is 1 down, if I'm not mistaken, Mike.
Big discussion with the Busch officials, who are looking to see if anything was left on the ground when Benson stopped, any kind of fluid. Jason Keller has repaired his car. He is back on the racetrack. Here's this week's Peerless Innovation in Motion, brought to you by Peerless Faucet. Get more out of your faucet than just water. Here's Glenn Jarrett.
You know, one of the neatest things about NASCAR in the last few years is how concerned that they and the race teams have become with the environment. This is the Safety Clean and Environmental Services facility, which is present at all of the Winston Cup tracks. Now, they have been licensed by each track to help dispose of the waste oil, the transmission grease, rear end fluids, all of the used solvents that these teams will create when they're here for a Winston Cup weekend, and believe me, it's a lot of them. They bring them to this facility, dump them into barrels. From there, they're shipped to the recycling facility in East Chicago, Indiana. Now, Safety Clean is the largest re-refiner of used oil in the whole world, and they are the largest recycler of used solvents in the whole United States. Now, this service is provided at no charge to the tracks. They also have the same facilities in all the race shops of the Winston Cup teams. No charge for that. Their key purpose is to help protect the environment. All the teams participate. NASCAR requires them to use these facilities when they are on the premises of a Winston Cup track. Anytime that you see a race car with this decal on it, we care, you better believe they recycle. They're helping protect our environment.
Thanks, Glenn. Safety Clean does a lot for racers. If you want to see more about Safety Clean, tune in Inside Winston Cup Racing tomorrow on TNN. They are making emergency repairs to Jason Keller's car. He's lost a lap or two, and I think he'll be back in the pits again when we come back. They've just waved the green flag, and you see smoke still coming from Benson's car. Spin, Tommy Houston. Everybody else is going to get by, and there will be no flag, but Benson is really throwing a lot of smoke here out in front of the leaders. Elton Sawyer blows it in on the bottom of the racetrack. Mike McLaughlin up high. They're all going after David Green, who has the lead, but for how long?
I tell you what, they all got their eye on that 74 car. They're wondering what's coming out behind that thing. It is really pouring out right now.
And it is Sawyer's turn to run the flat on the bottom of the racetrack. Here's the spin again by Tommy Houston. Just got around there. He and Buckshot Jones may or may not have had contact. And he and Doug Hebron both get away. So we stay green. 72, or rather 82 laps to go.
See David Green moving in there. Benson's car right now is not smoking as bad as it was just a second ago. It looks like it's clearing up, but it's still smoking enough that I'm not sure what they're going to do on this.
I'm afraid they're not going to have a whole lot of choice. I know they don't want to because he is up front of the points, and they sure hate to make these kind of things decide the point championship, but I'm afraid they're going to have to.
They did. They black flagged him. Now, remember, Chad Little has 4 fresh tires, and Little is coming. He is up to 6th place. And in heavy traffic, mowing down the front 5. Here are your leaders. There's McLaughlin. There's Sawyer. And Kevin LePage brushes the wall at turn 2. Here's that second pack, and you'll see number 23, Chad Little, coming. And he is out of that second pack right now. Also, Hermie Sadler has now been relieved by Curtis Markham. Randy can update us.
Hermie Sadler has been suffering from the flu all week. Absolutely, guys. He was laid out in the back of the transporter. Emergency medical team came over here and administered some oxygen. He's sitting calmly on the back of his rig right now, shaking his head, taking a little oxygen. He is okay, but boy, he was awfully sick. So Curtis Markham now in the 1 car.
NASCAR has pulled in the black flag for number 74. Steve Bird, apparently doing his best Johnny Cochran imitation, has won this battle with the NASCAR officials, and they're leaving Benson out there.
The reason for it, look at the car. It's not smoking anymore. I don't know what it was, but it's cleaned itself up here, and now he's just coming off the corner. You can see no smoke coming out of the back of Benson's car.
They must have had an oil line loose or something, and it got on the headers, and then it took a while for it to burn off. Once it burned off, then you don't have a problem. I saw them go under the hood under the caution. They're only under for a few minutes, but they must have fixed whatever it was, and just took a little while to get that oil burn off the headers.
Randy?
Well, Johnny claims that it only happens when he gets hard on the brakes. So I guess if he runs the rest of the race and doesn't get hard on the brakes, he'll be okay. So NASCAR said, go ahead.
All right, Chad Little has caught the lead pack, and Randy, they have the pit board out at the end of pit road for David Green, and they have tires at the ready. Green is locked up in a big battle for the lead. As we watch from Elton Sawyer, here comes Chad Little, fresh tires and rent sheet metal.
Boy, that car looks like he's been through a battle, but he's fixing to have a battle right now as he moves in. They're just behind the first 2 cars.
Remember, Little is on fresh tires. Look at this.
Boy, it makes it look easy, don't it, Jeff?
I tell you what, like I said earlier, that's all you can ask for is if you got them and everybody else doesn't, makes you look like Richard Petty or even Buddy Baker. How about that?
On the bottom. That car sticks well on new tires, and he goes after Mike McLaughlin's 2nd place position. And now after David Green and the lead.
Well, they're fighting him off with everything they can, but it's just a matter of time. If those new tires, if he gets up in that preferred line, it's all over right now.
A Ford has never won this race. Chad finished 5th last year. That's the best Ford finish here. He's got the lead.
Well, I know Ford would like to see it win the race. It's a Ford credit race, and I know they sure would like to see it.
You can see what great forward bite he gets there. David Green on a little more used tires there. Just can't get in the throttle as hard as Chad Little does.
11 cars are on the lead lap. Chad Little, the new leader. 44, David Green. 34, Mike McLaughlin. 38, Elton Sawyer. 46, Elliott Sadler. What a great run he's having in 5th. 64, that's Bobby Dotter today. 92, Larry Pearson. Number 3, Jeff Green. 00, Buckshot Jones. 95, Ward Burton is on the lead lap, and so is Johnny Benson.
See McLaughlin trying to make a move on the bottom side of David Green there. Couldn't quite make it pay off, but I think he's maybe a little bit faster than Green right at the moment.
That's Mike Dillon, number 12, way on the bottom. He is laps down, but he also has fresh tires.
Guys, that's got to be a heartbreaker for those three right there. They're both running really well, and they've got a good cars to win the race, but they're being out-tired right now, and that is really a tough deal to handle. Now they're all racing for second, but I guarantee you they're going to race for second just as hard as they will if they're racing for the lead.
One thing about racing, though, is the great equalizer is traffic. When you get in traffic, one mistake, and you're right back there with those guys. You've abused your tires to get the lead. All of a sudden, it's an even playing field.
And what allowed Chad Little to get in this position was he got wrecked.
I tell you that.
Great strategy,
yeah,
huh?
I'm telling you. Hermie Sadler can tell you he spun years ago at Orange County, cut some tires down, got some tires late in the race, and won the race for him.
Second, third, and fourth place here. Still continues to be a close battle. Jeff Fuller and Jeff Green changed a little sheet metal.
You're riding with Elton Sawyer there with the camera inside the car. You can see there's a few places on this racetrack where you really got some bumps where the car really reacts to it. And the springs are so soft that a lot of times it looks like the car really broke something getting in the corner, kind of jumped sideways.
We gave you the cars on the lead lap. One lap down are Kevin LePage, Jeff Fuller, and Rodney Combs. 2 laps back, Tim Fedewa. 3 laps down, the Hermie Sadler car, along with Tommy Houston.
That really is a super view right there, buddy. That looks like you're driving a race car. I mean, you're a little bit higher than you are, but that right there, if we could put some centrifugal force on people and on their couch, that would be it right there.
Good point. Now here is 64 Bobby Dotter, racing for 7th place. Now that's Danny Edwards just ahead, who started 4th and got his car banged up. Had to make an unscheduled pit stop and is 8 laps down. Edwards running in 18th position. Now here's Elliott Sadler battling with Larry Pearson. Both lead lap cars. This is for 5th place.
Now, Pearson was a lap down, made up that lap. He's just as fast as the lead cars. What he needs is track position right now.
And he gets 5th place away from the younger of the Sadler brothers. Carries him up the racetrack.
Well, almost.
Yeah. And Chad Little's trying to put a lap on Johnny Benson.
And that means Johnny Benson's laying on his brakes again. You see it smoking again. It went away for about 15 or 20 laps. Now he's having to lay on it a little bit, trying to keep ahead of the 23 car, Chad Little.
Well, black flag is out this time for Benson. Been a tough day for the point leader. He is 51 ahead of Chad Little coming into this race today. 55 laps to go. We'll be right back to South Boston, Virginia after this.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Ford Credit 300 on TNN is brought to you by Split Fire, the patented performance spark plug. It only costs more
Jeff got
to
it.
use it.
The 6th place car has brought out the 5th caution of the day. Bobby Dotter going around in turn number 4 while battling in heavy race traffic with Elliott Sadler and Larry Pearson. Has brought out the caution. You can see not much damage to the Dennis Shoemaker Duraloop Chevy. Here's what happened.
He gets touched there in the back, but he was checking up on Elliott there just a little bit, Elliott Sadler, and when he checked up, he run in the back, and then he got hit from behind. That turned him right around.
That is a chain reaction wreck right there. That's all you can say.
Jeff Fuller and Jeff Green got into it. Here from the in-car camera on board with Dotter.
Wow.
He did a good job, didn't he?
We've both been there. I remember those feelings, don't you?
I had my eyes shut and was holding on tight. I thought I was going to hit.
All right, they're going under the hood on Johnny Benson's car on pit road, and they have repaired damage. The whole right side was raked with tire marks on Jeff Green's car. They get him out and away.
I'm going to tell you, if there's no damage and he gets tires, the 3 cars in this race. because he did put on right sides, and if he can.
There's something wrong, though. He isn't coming up to speed down here. He stopped in the bottom lane. Looks like Jeff Green's got a problem.
They had to push him out. Here comes the pace car.
He's got water coming out from behind. He
Oh,
must be
yes.
over. His pits are real wet also. You can see a lot of moisture down in his pit area, and there's steam coming out of the back of it.
And Benson loses a lap.
Just in front up here, you'll see Jeff Green. You see the steam coming out of the right rear corner there.
He will not be a threat.
even with fresh tires.
Sorry, Dale.
Jeff Fuller is on pit road. They're pulling out the right front fender. He got into the side of Jeff Green trying to avoid the incident, and there you can see the damage on Jeff Fuller's car.
Now, I want to give Jeff Fuller a call. He has done a super job this year. I've watched him run some, and I really think that for no more experience than he had in this type of race car, he has done a super job at every kind of racetrack.
And to consider that that's a brand new race team.
That is amazing. I really have been impressed with him, and he does everything well. I've listened to him do some interviews, and he just does a good job.
He's a racer. The AutoZone Tech Fact is brought to you by the more than 1,000 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, best parts in auto parts. Here's Randy.
Well, you hear a lot of drivers talk occasionally about the racetrack changing. That means that the actual porous material that the track is made of can secrete oils and different debris that comes up through the surface. That is with weather. It changes. The sun is out, oils come up, and it changes the racetrack. Now, this particular track has just been repaved and reconfigured at South Boston. I talked to a lot of drivers before the race. They said the asphalt is absolutely perfect. They should be able to run 300 laps here without the racetrack changing a lot. That means they may not have to make a lot of major adjustments on their race cars. So they've done a great job here at South Boston with the pavement.
Thanks, Randy. And you can see over Randy's shoulder, the skies have cleared over turn number 1. The threat of rain we had at the start of this race is not there. We're going to restart in a lap, so we'll take a very quick break and be right back. We're back under green. Chad Little up front. Opryland, the official destination of NASCAR. For more information, call 615-889-6611 weekdays.
Well, you got Buckshot Jones spinning out of turn 2. There might be a call. Yes, there is a caution. So I tell you, they've been racing hard for the last 10 laps while we've been gone. They've really been racing hard.
And he may go a lap down, which is a shame. He was in 8th place in only his second Busch start. The pace car was unable to pick up Chad Little. Well, this should get interesting. I don't know for sure if Chad had taken the caution. So now he will wait on the pace car down in turn 1. Now, here's where Larry Pearson, 92, was battling Elliott Sadler so hard. And look at Tommy Houston way on the outside. This can't work.
Tommy's been around for a while. He knew it couldn't. He was backing out.
And here's Buckshot Jones outside of Mike Dillon. Gets up there in that 3rd lane.
There's the marbles I was telling you about earlier. When you get in there, that car will come around on you.
Yeah, but give Tommy Houston credit for keeping that last wreck from happening.
Oh, yeah. That's a lot of experience.
What's that line about there's old race drivers and they're bold race drivers?
Have been both.
But there aren't too many old, bold race drivers, right? Here's Randy.
Well, Pearson, he's been through the battle today. He was battling out there, got a tire rub from that action with the younger Sadler brother. Pearson was up to about 7th. He had to come down pit road, pull the sheet metal away, so now he goes back to the last car on the lead lap again. So Larry's been digging today. Back in again.
It's been an uphill battle for Larry. His crew chief, Ryan Pemberton, celebrates 1 year with that race team today. South Boston's the home track to this team's Jack Man, Danny Bomar, spotter Bill Smith, catch can man Steve Kaysen, and engine builder Kevin Blanks are all from the South Boston area. Larry has 3 wins and 8 top 5s in 14 starts here.
They teach them how to race well here, don't they?
You bet.
Mike, those cars look like a barroom battle there. All I can say was I was a winner. Look at that nose.
Yeah, you should see the other guy, right?
Yeah, they're showing him in the lead lap. They only have 9 cars in the lead lap. And they are showing Buckshot Jones in the lead lap. I don't.
I believe, did he get to come around? I believe.
Yeah, they let him come back around.
So he is still on the lead lap as of when that caution came out.
I got to give my brother a plug here. If I don't, my mother won't let me come home. He's worked his way all the way up to 5th, and that's
there he is.
He's battling with Elliott right now. I don't think Ward's going to like that too much because Ward ought to be in front of him, but they've really done a good job in that crew to
Randy?
get him to that point.
I just want to let you know, Jeff, that I talked to Ward. He said, let everybody know he taught you everything you know.
I know it all up here, by the way.
Yeah, but did he teach you everything he knows?
Well, he's racing, and I'm talking about it today, so
That's
maybe
okay. That's okay. Boy, he had a tough ride at Talladega on his roof there in the Busch Grand National race. And, you know, there were just so many incidents because they only go to the fastest speedway on earth once a year, as they now put Ward Burton in line in his proper position. Elton Sawyer was one driver that felt that all that action at Talladega might have been a little bit more exciting than perhaps it needed to be. He explains.
We're just trying to get over what we went through last week. A bunch of drivers were talking, and you know, we really didn't do a very good job for NASCAR or for our series or for TNN. You know, it didn't look good. You'd have thought, like Buddy Baker said, they went over to the infield and got 25 guys and asked them if they wanted to race, and that's what they put out there. So I guess we had the weekends reversed. We could race like that here this weekend, but we didn't need to be doing that last weekend. But I think it was kind of a reality check, and hopefully everybody's kind of got their heads screwed on right. We'll have a good short track fender bending type race here, but we can do that here.
And they are, and they have been all day long.
And let me tell you, I'm gonna clarify that last statement. These are some great race car drivers, and when I said that, I said it looked like these guys have a lot of talent. Last week was just one of those days where everybody got in trouble.
Look at the sweat pouring down the face of Elton Sawyer. Now, he does have an air system to blow cooled, filtered air into the helmet there. You see on the left side, puts down the visor and gets ready to go to work. 29 laps to go. Will it be Chad Little on those fresher tires? Can David Green or Mike McLaughlin or Elton Sawyer or Ward Burton steal the lead? Behind them come Bobby Dotter, Buckshot Jones, Elliott Sadler, and Larry Pearson, all on the lead lap. 9 cars to fight it out here for 28 laps.
Well, Chad has a bumper car in between him right there, a lap over car that is in between he and David Green. But Chad is so strong from that point of the racetrack to the other end. It's really running down the straightaway. As you said, Jeff, a while ago, it's got a great motor in it, but it's handling well, too.
When you combine those two things right there, it is really hard to beat them. When you get up the straightaway and you get through the corner, everybody's got, oh, caution front straightaway here. 12
It's Mike Dillon in the wall along with Danny Edwards Jr. This will be a caution.
Well, this race is going to be interesting, guys. We're going to have 25 laps to go, and it keeps getting better and better.
And Curtis Markham tried to get a lap back. He is driving the #1 car in relief of Hermie Sadler. Tried to get a lap back from Chad Little. Didn't quite make it. Mike Dillon's car, the Salem leasing machine, and Danny Edwards got together in the Lumar Chevrolet.
Well, these are some tough cars. Every time I ever hit the wall, it knocked me out. These cars just keep right on ticking after they get in the wall like that.
When y'all were racing, y'all tore up so much stuff, y'all taught us how to build them strong.
Thanks a lot.
24 laps to go. Who will win this? Pace car may have a good shot at it. We'll be right back. They just dropped the green flag, and Chad Little once again tries to take off and distance himself from the field. David Green is second, Mike McLaughlin third, Elton Sawyer in the 4th spot, and then a ways back to Buckshot Jones, who battles along with Ward Burton. Dennis Setzer, and Jones is around. Burton just misses him.
He got in the wall hard enough to really wrinkle up the left rear corner. I don't know how much damage that's going to do for him, but the yellow did not come out. They're still under green. Buckshot's back underway.
Here's what happened. Ooh.
I sure am glad Ward didn't hit him, because I didn't want to have to call that one. He just got in there just a little bit too high. You know, it's 20 laps to go, and everybody's racing for the best position they can get, and that's what you're supposed to be doing.
And he is only just now going a lap down.
That's right. He was racing for position. He was running hard.
Now, the fastest car on the track is the #6 of Tommy Houston. Houston is the most recent car to get tires. So he goes by Chad Little without a fight or a fuss, and is now only 2 laps down. Remember, Houston came in and got tires under green.
You said the important part. That spotter says 2 laps down the 6 car. Let him go.
David Green in second, Mike McLaughlin, and Elton Sawyer. Those three drivers to slug it out for second spot behind Chad Little. 15 laps to go. There's that battle for second, and further back, Ward Burton still battling there with in the midst of that pack of cars. A little distance back there, Larry Pearson got a spot from him, and Elliott Sawyer.
Here comes McLaughlin.
Sadler. Yep, here comes McLaughlin again. He's inside David Green for second place. There's the battle and the pass. McLaughlin gets the spot.
Boy, he's been working on that for 75 laps and finally made it work. McLaughlin finally got by Green.
McLaughlin may end up first in class today, first Chevrolet, and the first car to finish the race using only 8 tires.
Here comes Elton Sawyer now. He's putting a little bit on Green there. He's trying to dive to the inside. I believe David Green might have used his tires up, but that car is starting to move wider and wider in the corner.
Elton's been trying to pull that move off for a long time now. I'm really surprised he's able to even keep trying it, because as many times as he's tried it, you would think his tires would be gone, but he keeps digging.
He only needs to get 11 more laps out of him.
It's time to go, isn't it?
See, Sawyer had to fall back here. He can't run down low very many laps like that. What he's doing now is trying to make David Green drive a little bit hard in the corner and maybe heat his tires up a little bit.
10 to go. Now here in 8th place is Bobby Dotter in the Duraloop Chevy. The oil smears on the windshield, but he's had a good strong run today.
Well, the first race of that team, that's not a bad out to come out line.
Nope.
If they finish line, it's not over yet.
Right.
Smoke is shot over just in front of him. Here's Ward Burton, your brother. Now, what's he doing right or wrong right now?
Well, he's not leading. That's the main thing he's doing wrong. He's at home. I know he wants to win this race some kind of bad, but I tell you, we've all gotten used to running these speedways, and these short tracks are hard to come back to.
You know, McLaughlin is closing up on Chad Little, but he has only 7 laps left. He has really gotten away from David Green. It's clear that McLaughlin's car was faster than Green. He is running down Chad Little, but time is running out on him.
I'd say Chad Little's counting money right now, but you know, anything can happen in racing. McLaughlin is certainly a guy that you don't want to take lightly, so he's got to keep his eye in that mirror and make sure he doesn't close that margin down, because he'll make a run at him.
If this race had 16 laps to go instead of 6, I'd say McLaughlin had a fair shot to win it. But the scoreboard is going to be his undoing. Here you watch the race for third. Elliott Sadler coming up, and the crowd comes to its feet for one of their hometown heroes. He's going to make a run at Elton Sawyer before this is over. 4 to go. There's McLaughlin continuing to close on the race leader Chad Little. He has a victory this season, his first, and that third place race is as yet undecided. There it is with Sadler in that black and yellow DeWalt car on the bottom underneath Elton Sawyer.
Wow, he's really driving the wheels off that thing. Gets a little bit loose there and almost got in Elton Sawyer's side there.
He's driving really hard. He wants to show these people at his hometown track what he's all about. He's got another race to run after this one, by the way. He's got a 100 lapper to run, so he's got his work cut out for him still yet.
This will be the bell lap. White flag should be in the air for Chad Little and Mike McLaughlin. White flag on that third place battle.
Oh, Elton Sawyer goes around going into turn 1.
Well, Sadler will get third spot, and around he goes. Sadler spins in the back straightaway. Checkered flag. Chad Little wins it. Mike McLaughlin is second. David Green is third. Larry Pearson picks up the 4th spot. And unofficially, Ward Burton is 5th. And coming across in a dead heat were Sawyer and Sadler. Good grief. Well, let's show you what happened.
Elton gets touched there by Elliott getting in the corner, turns him around. Watch everybody respond to this. This could have been a real bad wreck right here. See Pearson go down just under him there and make a move on him.
Now, in the car.
it looked like Elton started down, and Elliott was had his fender just there. But hear him, he never got off the gas. If he would have gotten off the gas, he would have hit the wall to turn 1. Elton did a really good job there. The motor man doesn't like it.
No.
But that saved a rear clip on that race car. He did a super job.
Never stopped driving it. It did look as if Elton made his move down into turn 1, and Sadler was there.
Well, lead car always has the preferred line going in. They just got together. It wasn't anything intentional at all.
You couldn't see it on the replay, but Elliott then on the back straightaway had some sort of problem, and that's why he didn't finish 3rd. He was spinning down the back straightaway. It looked like he was going straight. I don't know what happened.
We'll sort it out when we come back. It's all over, but the shouting and the trophies and the celebrating here in South Boston, Virginia. We'll be right back.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Ford Credit 300 on TNN has been brought to you by Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. Take it to the stars. And by the more than 1,000 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts.
For the first time ever, a Ford has won a Busch Grand National race at South Boston, Virginia. And for the first time ever, Chad Little has won a Busch Grand National short track race. Randy Pemberton is somewhere there in the middle of victory lane.
And that's Doggy Winston and wife Donna and Chad. And let me tell you something, this was a tough race. This guy's tired. Chad, I know it was tough out there, but big smile on your face, deservedly so.
What a wonderful day. I mean, we qualified great, and just kept coming from behind. You know, the tires won it for us today. We got out of sequence, but we had that caution, and I had 4 new tires, and they had 75 or so laps on theirs, maybe even more than that. And I mean, tires won it for me today, so thank you to Goodyear. And you know, that's the gamble when you get out of sequence. Sometimes you can really have an advantage, and sometimes it can hurt you. The caution really worked in our favor, and also the caution when we had that flat tire at the start of the race. So, you know, I want to thank our team, of course, and Harris, Teeter, and Bayer, because we worked really hard for this. This car's probably been wrecked more than any of our other cars, but this is its first win, and it goes down in history books.
Chad, were you worried at any particular time, I guess, that you would not catch a caution because you had a lot of laps on those lefts?
Well, you know, I don't know if you noticed, but I waved several of the cars by me in the about, you know, lap 175, 200. I just couldn't. The tires were getting too old, you know, and so luckily we got that caution, but if we wouldn't have, you're right, we'd have been hurting because we'd have had to make a green flag stop or else just kind of ride around. So, like I said, you know, the tires, it was a gamble, but it wasn't really a gamble for us because we didn't have a choice. We had a flat tire, but everyone just worked really hard, and you know, I'm always reluctant about the short tracks because of the luck factor involved, but boy, it just worked out great. I want to say hi to Greg and Julie back home, and Angela. They're watching from home, and Jill and Sherry, and everybody in Spokane. My mom's here this weekend, and that's kind of nice. The first time she's seen me win a race back here, so just a real good weekend.
Congratulations to you and the team and your entire family. Mike?
And the extended family. Both his car owners had babies this week. Their families did.
Doggy Winston.
Doggy Winston, yeah, but okay. Now let's show you what happened to Elliott Sadler in the back straightaway, who was running up among those front 4. Now this is after. Well, there he goes.
I don't know. That's really odd looking. It looks like maybe it was loose and it never would get caught back up for him.
You know, as you said, you're hardly ever going straight here. If it's possible, after the Elton Sawyer incident, he got loose, saved it, caught it.
You know, it's the last lap. He probably never wanted to get out of the gas once he got in it. It may have been better off just to roll out of the throttle, let the car catch itself, and then go again.
Top break for Elliott Sadler, who will finish the day in 8th place. We'll give you the rundown and the new points that show Chad Little in the lead when we come back. Chad Little has won his first short track race on the Busch Series. Mike McLaughlin, great run to finish 2nd. David Green, Larry Pearson, Ward Burton, top 5. Bobby Dotter, Elton Sawyer, Elliott Sadler 8th. Buckshot Jones, nice run in 9th place. Kevin LePage 10th. Jeff Fuller, Tim Fedewa, Rodney Combs. Have a look at the rest of the field here. Well, you've seen a lot of races at this track, Jeff Burton, from the cockpit, from the pits, and now from the broadcast booth. What'd you think today?
Well, I tell you, it was a really impressive race. Chad got a big break with the tires, but he still ran well all day long. everybody's going to say the tires won it for Chad, and obviously there was a big advantage, but they still put themselves in a position to win, and that's how you win races.
Buddy, we'll look at the points here. 7 races ago, Chad Little trailed by 331 points. Now he leads by 14 points. Boy, a different show from Talladega, but boy, a lot of contact today.
Well, Chad Little's got one thing in favor. He wins a bunch. I mean, Benson's won 2 races, but Chad Little is on a tear right now. He's got momentum on his side. I wouldn't count him out for the championship.
And Jeff, as you said, he's got power. He's had power all season on these guys.
That engine really does run down the straightaway, and they do a good job through the corner too, and he does a good job driving it. They don't wreck very much.
Mike, there's one thing. You know, he comes so close to getting knocked out in that wreck. He didn't plan the advantage on the tires at all today. It's one of those things. When things go right for you, they're going right for Chad Little right now. And I tell you, momentum's a hard thing to slow up.
That's right. Well, Chad Little celebrates in victory lane as some of the sheet metal get unbent, and the Busch circuit will head off to Indianapolis Raceway Park next week as part of a big weekend of racing, including the Super Trucks, the Busch Series. I think USAC Silver Crown is there, all at Indianapolis Raceway Park, and then of course the Brickyard 400 with the Winston Cup cars next weekend. NASCAR fans have a chance to make cruise history of a sort from Cape Canaveral to the Bahamas December 4th through 7th. TNN and the Winston Cup Racing Wives Auxiliary. Kyle Petty, Ernie Irvin, Todd Bodine, Ted Musgrave, Steve Grissom are among the drivers who will participate, and the proceeds will benefit the Winston Cup Drivers Wives Auxiliary. For information, you can call toll-free 1-800-972-2359. Also going on at Opryland from August 24th through September 4th. Opryland is dedicated to all sorts of motorsports. There will be show cars, merchandise trailers, driver appearances, and lots more going on at Opryland.
I'm going to be there.
Well, that's reason enough to go, folks.
Well, I'm going now if you're going to go.
All
I
right.
had fun today. I'm
There
going to
you
hang out
have
with
it.
Buddy from now on.
615-889-6611 is the number to call weekdays for the TNN Salute to Motorsports. And tomorrow, live on TNN, the Mellow Yellow 300, including, and he said, please mention that I'm the defending champion of this race. Okay, Darrell Waltrip, you're the defending champion of that ASA race at Topeka, Kansas. You'll see that at 3 o'clock Eastern Time live here on the Nashville Network. Where are you tomorrow? Lake Norman?
Lake Norman, but I'll be watching TNN when the races come on. You can count on that.
We'll be at the, I'll be running the SCCA National Championship race at Pocono, Pennsylvania. Oscar Kowaleski promotes that. They always have a pretty good crowd for that one.
Well, you know what not to do. On a lot of occasions today, you found out what not to do. But,
yeah, most of what we've seen here today.
Do
we'll
what
try.
Chad Little done. Everything will work out just fine.
Right, so.
Tell you can really see on the short track racing how important it really is to stay out of trouble. Just for example, Ward, all day long, you never really had a car that could run with these guys. Stayed out of trouble, didn't dent his car, then finished 5th. That really is a big key on these short track races. Of course, 5th doesn't mean a lot to him because he's not racing for points. He wants to see the checkered flag.
That's it. A member of Chad Little's crew today, 18-year-old Ginger Campbell of Evington, Virginia, was a crew member. She works for Harris Teeter grocery store that helps sponsor Chad Little's team, and One Company Associates named an honorary pit crew member for Chad Little. So she gets to go to Victory Lane. That's a pretty neat deal. We will be joining the Charlie Daniels Talent Roundup in progress, hosted by Charlie Daniels right here on TNN. That's coming up next. Joined in progress. Well, it's been a big day of NASCAR racing. Heartland Park, Topeka, Kansas, with the NASCAR Super Trucks by Craftsman Series and the Ford Credit 300 for the Busch Series here at South Boston, Virginia. Thanks to Randy Pemberton, who braved the 95-degree heat here to run pit road for us today. And special thanks to Jeff Burton, driver of the Ray Bestis Ford Thunderbird on the Winston Cup circuit, who cut his teeth in a lot of laps here in South Boston Speedway. And we want to thank you for joining us. Hope you had fun today.
I had a ball. I tell you what, you guys have a tough job up here. I respect you a little bit more after doing this.
Well, we're glad that you could be with us. So for Randy Pemberton, Buddy Baker, I'm Mike Joy, congratulating Chad Little on his victory in the Ford Credit 300. Stay tuned for ASA Racing live on TNN tomorrow, and our next Busch race telecast will be from Richmond, Virginia in September, so join us then.
All right.
So long, everybody.